Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are going to be taking a look at SS1-1, kind of coincidentally seeming like it's going to be SS1-2 now, but we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you an overview for where all of the alliances are landing and currently are in their Zone 1 regions, and then we're also going to take a look at some of the current rankings and leaderboards and show you some of those and maybe present you with some interesting storylines that could play out super earlier than we anticipated. So let's dive into the very first thing, which is going to be, right, let's look at how they're doing the kingdoms now. Because remember, this is technically SS1-2. So let's take a quick look here at characters accounts. And if I go to, not that one, let's do create new character. You can see still 25, 26 hasn't come out yet. But if I go down, you'll see new game plus SS1-2. So I wonder if the reason they did this was because of Kingdom 5 and 6 merging into SS1-1, they weren't able just to reset that map. They had to come up with a whole new kingdom. And that's why I think we're coincidentally, or I guess getting SS1-2. This means that, remember, this was a one-off for them, as they said, and does not indicate what the typical merging process is going to be. That gives me somewhat hopes that we could still see SS1-3 being Kingdom 7, 8, 9, and 10, which would also mean that I have to now redo my top stat videos because of the different kingdoms that are now involved in those. Okay, now let's move on to the bread and butter of the goodies, which is going to be where are alliances actually going. So this is what we have surmised so far with, I should say, respectful additions. There's another God Alliance and Burning Lands that just popped up. And then also UEH, the Hispanic Latin Alliance, is also going to Caltia. So you have UEH, GRZ, SRZ in Caltia. And then you have the TA Alliance that split into 5 alliances at this time into Sophrostia. This isn't anything, out of the norm. They actually had a similar start. The only difference is that in SS1-1 for the first season of the first merged kingdom, TA started in Caltia. And then GRZ, I think, had started up here in Sophrostia. So they basically just did a swap. Then you have, so it's presumed that Sophrostia and Caltia and the alliances there are allied. That's one group. Then we get over to Novola, which is SS18, SS11, SS00, and 14. Now, these alliances are made up of POS, Forbidden, and OFOX. They decided to take Novola. Now, it is also presumed that as we move to Darlin, that's DLRN, that's actually Van the Great. I think they're from Kingdom 6, so you have to correct me if I'm wrong. He made an alliance, that person, I should say, made an alliance there. I don't know if there's any other alliances there, because there's only 21 thus far that have actually built at least one flag or more. Then when we get to Forgotten Lands, that's NT's alliances, so you have 45-17. I think they have 18 and 08, something to that degree, but they have four alliances or so there that they had to split, and again, I'm sure they'll merge eventually. But then we get to Novola, and the interesting part is that Novola and Forgotten Lands, I'm presuming, are still going to be allied because they were in last season. So again, unless I see something indicating otherwise that's stated on their alliance announcements boards that they're not allied anymore, or just something public, I'm assuming as much. But the interesting part here is we could see early fighting between Novola and Sophrostia because of where the starts are. So that, to me, will be interesting to see how things play out when those level 1 passes or adjacent passes open. Something we'll be keeping an eye out on. Then you get to Zoland, which is IDL, BDL, SL, and INA. This is Kingdom 5's alliances. So essentially, Kingdom 5 took Zoland, and then Kingdom 6 took Burning Lands, which is made up of the God alliances, God X, God Y. I think there might be a God Z, a new one that popped up. So I just want to talk about this for a moment before we get into the leaderboards, because as I said, I don't foresee this being too long of a video. If you look at how SS1-1 played out for the first season, you saw Kingdom 4. Between Kingdoms 1 through 4 that got merged into the first kingdom, they took Burning Lands and Zoland. They split their alliances between those two Zone 1 regions. And then, like we said, TA, GRZ, those alliances took Sophrostia and Caltia over here on the west side. So now you see Kingdom 5 and 6 who are splitting Zoland and Burning Lands, and they're kind of taking... Now remember, you can't cross Caltia into Burning Lands and vice versa because there's a mountain range there. You have to go all the way around counterclockwise, or from Caltia all the way around clockwise to get to the other side. So Kingdom 5 and 6 are kind of uniquely positioned, if you will, to... Again, you could say defend themselves, have a kind of corner to push out from. They're kind of playing the risk Australia country tactic, if you will, because they don't have to worry about their other side on the flank. They're just pushing out from one side. If you think about Again, who knows, obviously, if Kingdom 5 and 6 will ally with anyone. From what I understand, it's Nivola and Forgotten Lands. These groups of alliances, that's a second group. And then the third group is Kingdom 5 and 6, and they're together. But it does beg the question on if TA and GRZ decide, hey, we're going to start pushing out during Zone 1, which, with all indications based on the setup here, most likely we're going to see some fighting, and I'm sure SS might even try to push in there if they obviously have the opportunity to do so. Will NT 45 and 17 start pushing through Darlin and then back up the SS alliances in Nivola? Will we see the Kingdom 5 and Kingdom 6 alliances just chill in their respective zonal regions until Agoru opens up for Zone 2? Will they actually try and push out and maybe fight NT45 from this side? Will they maybe just say, hey, we're just going to build out and see how things play? Again, there's quite a few interesting paths and routes that can be played out in Season 2 here for SS1-1, again, SS1-2 now, that really gives me those indications on I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. Because, again, if there's as much fighting as there was in SS1-1 as I'm hoping there will be in SS1-2, man, we have a great treat that's going to be in store for you all. Now let's quickly just take a look at leaderboards. Lastly, we got Ghost. Here is still number 1, almost 70 mil. Junie, number 2 at 64.2 mil. We got this TA player. I can't remember if this is Wayne or the other person. I know sometimes I saw had some of the different characters and then it said Wayne, but this could be someone else. Again, at 58.2 mil. You got God's Burning from Kingdom 6, top player there, almost at 58 mil. We got Muzaffer from TA here at with TM, though, for now, at 57 mil. Then you got BDL's Duz, top player from Kingdom 5, at 52, almost 53 mil. Right, so again, it's kind of showing you some of the top players. And then if we look at the number 200, the bubble position, I always love to do this because I think when we last looked, it was around 16, mid 16.5 mil. Now look at this. Now number 200 players at 18.22 mil. So again, raised almost 2 mil there on the bubble. That's, again, a decent grind. And then if we look at how many level 25 players do they have in the kingdom, well, let's go all the way down to number 200 because I have an inkling here. Yeah, you have 200 plus players at City Hall level 25. Resources gathered still low because it's just starting. Dragon Trail, though, burning and does making a nice bump. Ghost is actually caught up now. They're all within 2 points of each other. And then you have the spread from 3 to 4, which is from Ghost to King J from TD. Alliance Towers, you got Blood Legion from Kingdom 5, God from Kingdom 6. Here, both at 7 Alliance Towers or flags respectively. Then you got TA right behind with 6, and then 4, and then working. And again, quite a few at 4 there, right? You have, 16 there at 4, and then 1 at 2 for God Z, God Familia in Burning Lands. And then Alliance Merits isn't open yet. So that pretty much gives you the lay of the land. I'm essentially just trying to flag as fast as I can right now so I can give you guys, make sure we have as much content prepared for you all as possible by the time it comes. Thankfully, the Zone 1 passes will open for scouts before the Level 1 passes actually open for players to go through. So we should be ready. I actually started off in Darlin just so I have kind of equal range to go back and forth between. So I'm hoping that will play out strategically and tactically. That actually is going to be it for me, though. I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think some of the big storylines are? Are there any rumors or drama that you're hearing that could play out? What do you think? Who do you think will be the alliances that may come on top this season? Are there any players that you're going to be interested to see if they're just going to be straight just PvP gorillas and maybe topping the personal merits boards? I want to know anything and everything. Let me know down there. That's going to be it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.